Okay. Continuing on, this is now Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This game introduced Sonic's incredibly annoying sidekick, Tails. You can play this game in 2 players, but I am only going to play it with a single player. No, Sonic. I'm going to play, not watch you play. What Sega decided to do in this is, if there is no player playing as Tails, Tails still shows up, controlled by the CPU very poorly. He doesn't really matter. He'll die and respawn pretty regularly. He'll occasionally collect some rings for you, which can be nice. If you have a second player playing as Tails, you can use Tails' ability to hover to get to some more secret places. I do not have anyone who would like to play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 with me here right now, so I am just going to have to survive without that. You can see Tails there flying to catch up with me. But other than that, this is a very similar game to the first one. As I said, you can see that the frame rate has improved in this one. Visually, I think it looks a bit nicer. I think the most noticeably better looking one is 3, but we'll get to that momentarily. Like the first Sonic game, this one is not especially long. I cannot say I remember the order of the levels in this one quite as much, and I'm not actually entirely certain that I ever beat the second Sonic game. I believe I did. I know I've never beaten the third one. But the second game is, you know, again, a game that can be beaten in just a couple of hours at most, if you know what you're doing. And I'm sure speedruns exist of this game being beaten in under half an hour. One of the other changes to this game, I would assume this was made just due to time constraints, is that the boss comes at the end of the second level of each stage, not the third. Which is too bad. More Sonic. It's always appreciated, or at least it was back in the Genesis days. And as usual, the first boss is not especially difficult. We'll see if I can get through the second stage. It's called Zone. I guess the chemical plant. This is, I think, a visually fun zone to go through. It also shows a bit more of the multiple routes that many Sonic levels have. Like I said, there is very little reason to play through these levels a second time unless you want the Chaos Emeralds to see the true end of the game. But if you just play through them once, you are basically experiencing everything this game has to offer. And I do not recommend slowing down and exploring in a Sonic game, but maybe, I don't believe it's true, maybe there are some that do, I don't know. I've never heard of anyone who liked the exploration of the Sonic games, any of them. But you could not tell, but there were multiple paths through that, and the paths get even more complex in the third Sonic game. not especially much more to talk about with this Sonic game in particular. The addition of Tails is... Oh, of course, there's also the Spin Dash added here. Can't forget to talk about that. The Spin Dash would, of course, go on to become one of Sonic's most iconic moves, if not his most iconic move. A lot of people do not remember, or do not know, if they've never played the original Sonic, that his Spin Dash was not in the original Sonic the Hedgehog game. But I think it is one of the best additions to the series, along with the homing attack, which was used in the later 2D games for the Nintendo DS and the Sonic 4, and also in the 2D portions of Sonic Generations. And I do really, I really like the added effects of the lock-on, but I do not like very much else of the modern Sonic games. You can see there, if I had run better, I would have gotten to an alternate way to get through this stage. Sonic underwater would probably be my least favorite way to play Sonic. He does drown, and I am probably going to drown before I make it out of this now because of that mistake, which is a shame because I really did want to see it. Oh my god. Oh. If I could get to the third act of this, we will. I'm doing my best. Okay. That would signify me getting 100 rings. Oh no, that's not good. This. Oh my god, come on. This is going to be unfortunate. I now have to do that again. I will be very impressed if I make it out of this alive. I'm just not entirely sure which way to go here then. Whenever Sonic slows down, right? It's what makes the Sonic water levels, as terrible as they are, even more terrible because of how slow they are. And they are, unfortunately, far too common to have a water level such as this being only the 4th level in the entire game. Not that there are a huge number of levels in this game, as I mentioned, but it's just not how I want to play Sonic, what I want included in Sonic, anything about Sonic. Okay, let's try to get past these platforms. No. Okay. Instead of doing this anymore, I'm going to stop playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I did want to get to the end of the stage to show the bonus stages that let you collect the Chaos Emeralds in this, but oh well. I'm going to give this one more go, and if I fail at it, then we will move on to Sonic 3, probably. Oh, look what... Oh my god. Okay. We will move on to Sonic 3 then. I will be back in just a second. Let me restart this and get Sonic the Hedgehog 3 going. I will see you in a moment.